Hey guys, it's Bluevision here, and welcome back to your next WorldEdit tutorial. This will be episode 3, and today we're going to be talking about generation commands. However, before we get into generation commands, there's a few things I left out of the last video that I felt like that we should explain. So, again, we have this redstone structure we have here, and inside it we have our beautiful hill that's encased with redstone blocks. So, these are two useful commands that are going to help you out a lot. The move command and the stack command. So, for example, say we want to move this structure is too close to the edge. We don't like it this close to the edge. We want to move it towards the middle of the region. So we can do //move, and then the amount we want to move it. So we can move it 20 blocks. So you can see it'll delete that and then move it 20 blocks over, which is very nice. So it does leave this huge hole in the ground since the region we selected was down to here. However, again, that can easily be fixed by using something like a set command. So if we set grass, we can fix our little area. So that's one way to move an object. However, there's one other way, not exactly to move an object, but to stack an object. So say we want to make this, we love this redstone structure so much, we want more than one of them. So we can say expand it, so we can do /stack, and say we want to stack it 2, and that will actually create 2 additional copies. It's hard to see it here. If I show it to you by expanding 1, so if we expand 1. That was expand our region a bit out, so there's a layer of air between it. If we do /stack 2, it'll stack our entire selection 2. So then we have 1, 2, and 3. We now have 3 complete copies. And as you can see inside, they both have this cool little hill structure in here. So they are complete copies, and they work. They are exactly alike. And if you want to get rid of it, again, you can do /undo. However, that's not the main feature of today's video. Today we're going to be talking about generation commands. So basically what I mean by generation commands is to easily create a structure or shapes. And these do not use our wooden axe. We can actually put our wooden axe away for now, and if we need it, we can get it back later. And another cool command before I get started is say we don't like this selection kind of driving us crazy. We don't want to see all this graded selection. We can just do /cell, and that will delete our selection. So let's get into generation commands. So the first generation command I'm going to be showing you is to create a cylinder. So a cylinder, I'll be better off just showing you. So I can do /cyl, that sounds for cylinder. I can do cylinder and then the block. So we can do, let's just do stone, and then we're going to do the radius. If you don't know what a radius is, I'll be showing it to you right now. So we do the radius right now is 2. So as you see right here, this is the middle block. A radius of 2 would go out 2 blocks. So as you can see, it goes out 2 in every direction. So if we undo that, undo, if I can type correctly today, we can do /sphere or sil, stone, and then we can do 5. And that will make our sphere larger, because our cylinder larger, because now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from the center. And that's basically how the radius functions. And the radius is used in a lot of commands, so that's kind of a key thing you need to take out of this video is how to use the radius. So let's undo that. Now say you want a cylinder, but that's just a cylinder of 1 block. How can we make it larger? So say we want to make it taller. So we have cylinder, stone, 5 is the radius, and then let's make it 10 blocks high. Oh no, we're stuck in the block! Now, this is a problem that many of you will run into and will go crazy because you get stuck in a block. And as you can see, I can't move, I can't type /ascend. The only way to get out of this easily, you can either break your way out using just break your way out. That's no fun. Let me show you the manly way to get out of this. So if I set our cylinder again, I can do /unstuck. And then it says, there you go. And now I'm unstuck from the region. And that's very useful for a lot of WorldEdit things, so keep that in mind. So this is our completed cylinder. It doesn't look like a perfect cylinder, that's because we're playing Minecraft and there's only squares and cubes, so keep that in mind. It's never going to be perfect. But that's how you create a basic cylinder. And as you saw, we didn't use any of our selection commands, so as you can see, not all WorldEdit depends on that, but it's a very key feature. So now let's move on to the next command, which is going to be sphere. So say we want to create a resemblance of a sphere. Again, there's no spheres in Minecraft, but we can do /sphere and then the block name we're going to be using. So let's use something interesting. Let's do like sponge, and we'll make it 5, the radius 5. As you can see, we're now stuck on our block again, so we can use unstuck, and we are now free from our block. As you can see, this creates the resemblance of a sphere in whatever block choice you use. And this is very useful for a lot of things. Keep this in mind. It's a very cool command. And notice that it is all sponge. The next command we're going to be learning is pyramid, and this is one of my favorites because I love pyramids. So as a pyramid should be, we're going to create it out of sandstone. So we'll do /pyramid, excuse me, and then sandstone, so the block we're not going to be using, and then again the size. So the size will be 5. If we unstuck ourselves yet again, unstuck, we now have a pyramid of the height 5. So basically the 5 just says how many layers there's going to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how many layers of the pyramid there are. And if we want to create a larger pyramid, because everyone knows larger is better, not kidding, just kidding. We can unstuck, get out of our pyramid, and we now have a larger 10-layer pyramid, which is awesome. However, say you want to enter into this pyramid. I want to enter into the pyramid, but no, it's all filled with blocks. That's not what we want. We want to be able to get into the pyramid. So here's a trick that is very useful for all of these different generation commands. You can actually make them hollow by adding an H before them. So for example, we can do an H pyramid, sandstone 10, and as you can see, we now have a hollow pyramid. The H stands for hollow, and that allows us to enter into our pyramid. And the same thing goes for spheres. So if we do go back into our commands, find our sphere, we can do H sphere. And now we have a hollow sphere of sponge. Now you can live in your sponge castle. Wahahaha. We can get out of there. Now it has a hollow sphere. And the same thing for the cylinder. We can do, if we go very back far in our commands, we can do HCYL. And we now have a hollow cylinder. Notice the cylinder, it does not include the top or the bottom. That's the cool feature of the hollow cylinder. So basically it's like a walls command, but it's spherical. And this is useful for building towers. If you want to build like a tower or something, this is very useful for creating the outside structure of the tower. That's basically it for the generation commands, however, or the generating shape commands. However, there are 2 more generation commands I want to go over. And the first one is very useful. The second one is more kind of just fun, or if you're building something that's actually fitting. So the next one we're going to be using, actually we don't need a wand again, we're going to be using forest gen. So / forest gen. You actually don't even have to put a size, and it will just generate a forest. Very nice. Gives us a good clean forest. It's pretty small. But that's kind of what you get when you don't use a like a number to add to it. So now we're going to be using, say we want to make a larger forest, we can make it 30. And that's going to create ourselves a huge size 30 forest, which I believe is about 30 blocks in either direction. I'm not sure if that's how it works or not. It seems like that's how it works because it kind of cuts off right here. But that's how you create large forests. And these forests will not destroy any blocks. So if I actually create them around this area right here, if I do another forest gen 30, it will not actually delete. It's not going to block. No. It won't actually delete any blocks you've already created. So this is really good for placing forests around already existing structures. So say you want to have like a house or something, you want to create a forest around it. This is a perfect way to do so, instead of having to plant each sapling individually, because we like to be lazy with WorldEdit. Well, actually not lazy, it's more effective and easier. So there's the last one more thing you can do is /pumpkins. And this creates a pumpkins. And that's basically just creates a pumpkin patch. That's pretty much what it does. And again with the pumpkins, you can add in, actually it should be // I guess some commands work with this one /, others don't. Say you want to do like 20, you can make a larger pumpkin patch. And that's basically how that command works. And that brings an end to our tutorial on generation commands. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you guys have learned something. And again, if you want to test out what you've learned, you feel free to log on to the MegaCraft Creative Server. That is, the IP will be on the screen. It is c.mc-mega.org. You can test out all the things you've learned, kind of practice it, get a feel for it, so you kind of know what you're doing before we move on to the next tutorial. So I advise everyone, even if you don't want to log in the Creative Server, if you have a place where you're going to learn WorldEdit, then I advise you kind of get the feel of how to use it, so before we move on, so you have a full understanding. So hope you guys have enjoyed, hope you guys have learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.